Curtis A reached out to me, said make a theme song for my show. Said alright, just give me all the details, man. And my homie says he don't know. Well, if you're gonna pay me big bucks, cause I might should have something to say. He said, you know what I bring, I'm the customizing king, nothing else matters anyway. So is he gonna have guests? I don't know. Is he gonna go live? I don't know. What time will it be? What will you see? I'm pretty much in the dark, but I can guarantee you'll be customizing action figures, getting paint all on his fingers. It's art by Akerman. It's art by Akerman. Tips and tricks and conversation, sharing his gift with every nation. It's art by Akerman. Art by Akerman. You best get ready, cause now it's time for Art by Akerman.
Howdy, folks. If you've been following the channel, you know this is about customizing, and specifically, we do a lot of customizing with Mythic Legions. And there is a new wave that's getting ready to hit here soon. It's been, pre-ordered out there for a while, and it's on the water. It's going to be here anytime now. And that's Necronominus. And so I figured it was time to, take a look at this wave. A lot of us have already pre-purchased this. If you haven't, there's plenty of great retailers out there that got them available, that you can purchase them because they're going to be here soon. But I thought it'd be a good time to just kind of look at the wave and refresh ourselves and look at the parts and see, hey, where can we use those? But, I'm only one guy and I'm not super smart. So I've brought a couple people with me that are a lot smarter than me. First, I have got John Caulfield from the Euro Legions podcast.
Hey, Curtis.
How you doing, sir?
Great, thanks. Thanks for asking me on. Thanks for saying I'm more intelligent than you. I feel good
For
now.
sure.
I don't
Absolutely.
believe you,
that's not even a question.
The next one I'm very suspect about, though.
Well, the next one, this guy, he's the manager. He's the manager of the Cabal table at Legions Con. This guy's got some great videos on his own channel and some great ideas. I know he's got one specific idea for this Necronominus that we're going to have to talk about. Manager Billy, what's up, Billy?
I've been waiting so long. When we thought it was going to come out in November, I did a refresher video too, and it didn't. And now we're here again. Let's double down. Get ready for bones. Get in the bone zone, John. Get in the bone zone, Curtis.
Oh, I'm in there.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm ready.
So for those of you that are maybe new to this stuff and you don't know what Necronominus is, let me just go ahead and pull this up. So we are on sourcehorseman.com right now. If you're, getting into Mythic Legions or Cosmic Legions, you want to know about this stuff, what figures are out there, you want to learn a little bit about them and read their bios and stuff, sourcehorseman.com is the place to go. And that's where we're at right now. We're looking at this specific wave. And we're going to go through each of these, figures and packs and stuff in here and just kind of see what strikes us. Because it's been a long time since I've looked at this. These pre-orders, especially for these big waves, can take upwards of 2 years. And, so yeah, I think it's time to kind of just take a look at them. So we're just going to work our way through alphabetically, and we're going to start with Belualyth. I'm not going to read bios and stuff. We're really focused more on the customizing side of things here.
That's for our show, Curtis.
They got those great voices and all that.
Pronunciation skills and such.
Right. Yeah. So, man, this chick has got a lot of stuff going on. She's got some dead animals with her. She's got a couple different heads. She's got a lot of new parts. What are you guys thinking when you see this? Anything that immediately pops in your head, like, man, I can't wait to mess with that?
I think it's just going to get me back in love with 2.0. I've been kind of falling out of love a little bit, and just all the pets. Look at them. You can do so much with them.
What about you, Billy?
So many just little accessories, because I'm excited for that cage. I think the bone it hangs on goes into a pauldron hole. With the 2.0s lately in the past year, they've gone up in just quality with the ankles. So they stand solid now. So I'm ready. I'm ready for more female 2.0s. Ready for all them bones. We got a taste of her head a little bit almost, just with the Ghost of Christmas Past with a little bit of decay in there, and she's got more with her alternate head, just missing that nose. There's a lot you can do with that.
And
yeah, I mean, she's got a lot of stuff like hanging from her belt, like these little skulls and everything. You got a chain, you got that bone thing in the back. Obviously, the pets. There's just a lot of stuff going on here.
yeah, I mean, you could even fabricate some sort of bone weapons with the pets, or bits of the pets. Take the dog one, for example. Those little kind of heads that stick out of the dog. Stick them onto like the end of a sword handle or something like this, or
Oh, yeah.
a longer spear handle or club, and you got this kind of mad looking bone weapon. So a little bit of customizing, but this is what we're about here. So get a bit of green stuff, get a bit of glue, get it on, and then prime it up and paint it whatever way you feel like.
Yeah, you got that tail that's like a snake skeleton. Basically, I could see somebody just ripping that off and using it as a weapon.
Yeah, I mean, this could even get you into the alien vibe for Cosmic. With
Oh,
that,
yeah.
with that kind of thing. Spray paint that a glossy black, and you got some sort of weird cosmic aliens.
Yeah, looking at that tail again, it's been a while since I like Jeremy's went over like what kind of articulation this has. I know it's very minimal, but still, like, rip that tail off, shove it in a pauldron hole, just have some weird stuff going on at the back of a skeleton.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
It's all starting to turn.
Yeah, the worm is turning.
And they got a lot of shots of the dog.
Yeah, so...
And then here's kind of the extra stuff with it. So yeah, some of these pieces will be nice. Just like I could see people using them in photos and dial work and stuff, like just like that cage and the bird and the dog and stuff. Like I could see like just having them as pieces in the background.
I mean, you can, if you got the Frankenstein a couple of months ago. I mean, here's some more dial pieces for your Frankenstein display even. That cage and just the bits of bones, and cut that bird off the little bracer, and you could have that also.
Well, this really isn't a customizing question, but I got to know, this is the question I got to ask everybody on Belualyth. You displaying nose or no nose?
No nose for me.
I'm gonna go with no nose as well. 2 for no nose.
Now, if I met her in a dark alleyway, I'd be like,
give me the nose.
Give me the nose, please. I don't want to, that's less scary. So because of the type of character she is, I want her to be the most scary that she can be.
Yeah, I think I got to go no nose as well. The other one is awesome, and I could see people definitely using that head. Like you're going to want to use both these heads. So I could see somebody using the no nose as their main figure in their display, and then taking that one with the nose and go, okay, now what can I do with this? Maybe you change up that color scheme a bit, repaint that head, put it on a different body and go from there. So
I'm curious to see, like, if because it's all like, it's the head, it's the hair. When someone goes to pull that hair off, because it's glued, just to see what kind of connection it has there, if it'd be easy to pop that Ghost of Christmas Past hair on there. Possibly, who knows? We'll find out soon.
Yeah, they use like those keys that like lock in, but sometimes those keys are a little bit different. So it'll if they made that uniform to where that works the same as like the Ghost of Christmas Past, that would be awesome. So
who knows? We'll find out.
And she's got a horseman pauldron as well. If you look in that middle picture there up.
Oh yeah, right here. Yeah.
Yeah, which is easy to miss on the front-facing photograph. That's pretty cool. You could put that on a different character even.
Yeah, I mean, she's got so much going on in this main picture that I think a lot of the stuff gets lost. So,
yeah,
very nice. Next, we got a couple horses. So starting off, we got Bishop, which, I mean, wow. The soft goods on this thing. Holy cow.
Yeah. Little tassels even on the end of there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could you imagine getting this type of soft goods, like even when the line started, or a year or two into the line?
Yeah, I mean, listen, everybody knows that has ever listened to me on any show. I'm not a huge horse guy. But this thing is absolutely fantastic. Like I don't know how you would have Gideon and not have this horse. Now I don't need the skull. The fact that they had to throw in all the skeleton heads with even the good guys in this, I'm like, I don't need that. But this thing is super cool.
Yeah,
I mean, look at that.
I've never customized a horse either. Well, I don't know if you haven't, but I haven't customized one. But kind of patient enough to wait for them to do the different colors.
Yeah.
But it would be a cool thing to do. But yeah, there's just a lot of other stuff in the queue before that. But this is just as a figure is great. I could see maybe customizing the armor, just even painting a different color.
I could see maybe if somebody didn't want, like maybe they wanted the more armored look and wanted to take the soft goods off of there, and then now you can take those soft goods and put them on a different horse or something. But other than that, I mean, I definitely wouldn't just like repaint this. And you're not gonna. I don't imagine too many people are gonna pop and swap, horse parts. Yeah. So I don't know that there's a whole lot to talk about here. Billy, you got anything?
I just think about what John said, where it's like if this was like the first horse that I got compared to that first horse they put out, it'd be overwhelming. Just like the difference there, just with just accessories and just a little mind blowing.
Because that picture there is basically the build of the first horse, the brown one, Belualyth. Yeah. I mean, if you had a black horse and you could repaint the armor a kind of black or kind of an evil color, then you maybe get an evil counterpart to this guy. With similar armor.
Yeah, I mean this looks like a horse that could fit in with a bunch of different like Western toy lines and different things like that. Like this is just a standard horse, and if you did that look, then all of a sudden now you've got that armor and soft goods for a different one. So
completely, yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm getting ready to pop over to Kabus, but it looks like maybe Anthony's with us. Hold on. Let's see. Anthony, you there?
Yes, I'm here.
All right, we got your audio. We don't have your video, but we got your audio.
You guys don't want to look at me.
I want to see you.
We've just gone through the first couple. We are now on to Kabus, and we're just kind of talking through any kind of ideas for customizing. Once again, I still don't know that I have too many horse ideas for customizing, but this thing is just crazy. Like this is one of those ones that leading up to it, I think there was a lot of people go, they're not going to do a skeleton horse because they're not going to be able to reuse the tooling. Like they're not going to get the max benefit out of it. And then sure enough, they gave us one, and it's like, wow, this thing is just impressive.
Yeah, because at first we thought like maybe it'd be like just like the chunks, because like Pox's horse has where it's got like a little bit of rot here and stuff there. You think it'd be like, it'll be a leg here, head there. But no, like the full on thing. There's some chunks in there, but still it's just like it's all the bones.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have any ideas. Well, I don't have any ideas for this one. I know Billy does. We will save his for a second though, because I got a screenshot to share. But John, anything on this and anything that you're like, man, I'd like to change this up or do something with?
I mean, there's two things I could see. Firstly, in general, people doing. I mean, maybe taking bits off the horse. So those customizers that use Legion's parts to make different characters, but a lot of it is taking parts and dremeling and a bit of cutting and gluing and bit of green stuff or whatever. So I think there is bits here that you could definitely add to characters, even like the ribs or something like that. You could maybe do something with them. And then the other is guys like Matt Stein with the patina and all that. I mean,
oh yeah,
I could see people doing that kind of a thing, or changing it to maybe like a blood red skeleton horse, like if you wanted to have a mount for your Clavian that's coming in a future wave, or a scaphoid, all the different skeleton colors.
The one thing that
maybe doing.
The one thing that I could see with this would be for your diorama makers, that they could maybe take this apart and kind of make like a wasteland kind of dio and use parts of the rib cage and skull and stuff for that. Like that would be kind of interesting.
Because I can only imagine how much of that rib cage is where it's just like like the back section there, and then the bump, like the ribs itself, are glued into there to make it entirely together, just to pull it apart. How many pieces it really is.
Yeah. Anthony, any thoughts on this one as far as customizing goes?
No, but I'm not a big skeleton guy, but I like the idea of kind of using some parts on something else and then using it as just on the ground waste for a diorama. I kind of like that idea.
All right. Now I need to stop sharing this for a second because Billy sent me something that he specifically wants to talk about with this one. Tell us what we got, what we're looking at here, Billy.
Okay, so you're looking at the Conibus body. You need the, I believe it's Alfarius, or I think it's the Dark Centaur now would also have that
Shadow
midsection
Centaur.
piece, Shadow
Yep.
Centaur for that midsection piece, and then taken a Turpiculi as the top part there. And I had like another render where it had the Necronominus, like big,
The big
giant
wing. Yeah.
hand-sized wings on there. But Joe Vassapolo, after I had made like a digibash of this, was kind enough to go on to Mythic Customs on live and had where he popped it all together. So it does work. And I've been waiting years for this. This is the custom that I am doing. As soon as that box gets here, popping it apart, putting it on there, taking some pictures.
Yeah, and you know, to John's point earlier, as customizers, we'll find a way. So even if you didn't want to tear apart a Nefarious or a Shadow Centaur for that midsection piece to connect these, you as a customizer, you can figure out something to make it work. But yeah, that would be the way to actually make it fully articulated and work the way that the normal centaurs do. So
heck, even if you wanted to take like you said, some green stuff or any other type of clay that had where it hardened didn't shrink a lot, just to make just some kind of section just to plug in. That's it. And just wrap it in the fur like he did there.
Yeah, that's the key, isn't it? The soft goods to kind of cover any sort of thing that maybe doesn't look perfect. Yeah.
What I'm wondering, and this is kind of crazy, but I'm wondering if you could use the Conibus body, but instead of like the horse legs, if you could plug in like the Turpiculi arms into the front where the legs go, and plug in like legs where like the normal Turpiculi legs where the back legs of the horse go, and now have this like really weird standing up straight creature
with those big hands in the front.
Yeah.
Ooh.
You know, I don't know what the like the whole sizes are for like the horse legs versus like, you know, skeleton legs and skeleton arms and stuff. But I think we're going to see some weird creations with this thing. So
if it didn't have, because I think it's pegs from the torso, like from the Conibus torso into the beginning of the leg should be pegs in, but I think it's pegs going into that first bone there. So there's a good chance, and you know, can always put like a little bit of blue tack or some heat shrink on them pegs, make them fit.
Yeah. Because the one thing that some people talked about that we didn't get in this wave was an ogre scale skeleton. But could you use the rib cage for this horse and somehow make an ogre scale skeleton with the horse rib cage?
Oh wow, yeah.
I don't know.
That's an idea.
If not, you could definitely make some awesome bone armor for an ogre too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's keep it moving here. I'm not going to spend too much time on this, but we did get a plethora of new hands. These are the new style, so it's not the same kind of older armor, but we get some like a dark metal, a more light metal, and then you've got the gold. These will be nice for just kind of upgrading some older figures. Not super expressive. You got some expressive hands over here on the right side, but most of them are just gripping hands, I think, with either horizontal or vertical hinge joints. So, and then some fist. So,
I know I'm a little tripping over here. Just things are all firing in my head. Would you say that bottom row, the darker one, is more of a gunmetal color?
I would, yeah.
Well, that would go perfect with the night builders that are coming out Monday in the in-stock sale. Just saying, because they don't come with those.
Yeah, for sure. Now this will air let's see, when is this going to air? This is going to air after that sale is up. So by the time you guys see this, that sale will be live. Maybe those things are still available. They're probably gone. So,
Well, it helps
But
me.
if you have one, oh, Curtis took himself out.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm excited about that sale.
and that was me hitting the wrong button. Instead of hitting back on the other screen, I hit the back on the StreamYard screen. So, yeah, let me go back into this. Luckily, the recording didn't stop.
No,
Dummy,
still going.
you big old dummy. All right. Next, we've got the Knight's Weapons pack. This one I'm excited about. Like, I feel like, you know, because that plug section in the middle, and that's the same plug section that works with, you know, like we've gotten the Aetheron. No, what do we get? We got the Xylona so far.
Yeah,
we got
Leodisius.
Nerathyr. We got Leodisius on those big giant pieces, and those would work on this as well. Plus, it's just got like a cross pattern to it, and I am in love with the Templars. So I could see repainting some of these for Templars as well. I love these shields. That little hammer is so freaking cool.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And if you get an extra, we'll see it with Gideon, but if you get an extra Gideon, or even if you manage to pick up a shield, you know, people sell parts all the time.
Yep.
Spray paint that eagle silver and then make your Templar pattern on this shield. Then you kind of got a silver Templar eagle shield.
That'd be cool.
How cool is that?
Indeed.
Anthony, you got any ideas with this set?
I don't, and I apologize. I didn't realize joining this was going to be me on the screen. So I don't have many ideas. You can just let me watch, or I can leave. But
that's fine. If you got something, just shout it out.
Yeah,
so,
I will. Thanks.
Okay. Billy, any thoughts with this set?
I'm so ready to mess with that Warhammer there, because it's just it's a devastating real weapon, and it's ruined some knights' lives. But like be able to pop off that mace there, be able to paint it different colors and stuff. That'll be what I'm like messing and adding to other older figures, just to kind of bump them up a little bit. And then also, like, I don't, we haven't got that sheath for that dagger, I don't think, before.
It looks
like
new.
a new one. Yeah.
Because I think we got the sheath for the sword, and just more stuff to add to other figures to kind of pop them up. Other customs they've done in the past, just to plus them up, and that's what we're there for.
Yeah,
definitely
cool stuff. Okay, next. Now this guy, part of, I think, what a lot of people were excited for with this guy was the bear skeleton underneath all this stuff. And since then, since this was pre-ordered, we've gotten the Skeleton Legion Builder 2, and now we've got the graveyard skeletons that are coming in that have that bear body. So now I think it makes this guy kind of the focus more on the soft goods and the Grim Reaper vibes of this. But initial thoughts on this, John?
Yeah, I think, well, when you see straight away there the scythe, I mean, that's going to be amazing to have in the library now, or in the parts library. You can use that blade, maybe fabricate it into a different weapon, or just repaint it. Also, what goes over the soft goods, I mean, I could see definitely doing some experimenting with those parts to see how you can maybe chop them up, separate the three different things here and find different uses for them. Put them on the front of a shield, maybe,
I could see that being used for like a witch doctor or something too. Throw it on like an orc or a human or something. That'd be kind of cool.
On the back then as well, with the kind of bone spikes coming up and wings. I mean, that's That's pretty cool, huh?
Yeah, that's a neat piece. I actually I'm glad we're revisiting this because I mean it's it's been a couple years and I had totally forgotten about this back piece. Like that is super cool. So
Yeah,
yeah, because we, as you say, we were focusing on the bare skeleton body because that was amazing, and that's what we wanted. And yeah, it's easy to skip over these parts, and now we can fully appreciate them. But that's an amazing piece. I mean, you could definitely find other uses for that, or just see what it's like on a different figure,
And then here's just a view with some different looks of that. You've got like the fully armored, then you've got with the armor off and just the soft goods, more like that Grim Reaper vibe, and then just the bare skeleton. So, Billy, other thoughts on this one?
I know a lot of people were wanting to use this because if it would have came out earlier before Christmas past, they wanted to use this as like a Christmas future. I know when they actually finally do that, it'll probably be vastly different from this. But oh god, I forgot about that back piece with the red feathers coming down it because like you see so much of that front shot, and I think even if they had the top down shot like behind the back there, it has where it's like a bunch of like sinew spread behind there with that. It's like you said, witch doctor, just some sort of like bone amalgamation where you just because I took a couple of these and I popped them apart when we got the builder 2 and just mashed them together any which way I could. That'll just add to it more where it's just more horrifying. And he's got an hourglass. That's a neat thing too.
Yeah. One of the things with the newer waves coming out that I'm interested to see is how people customize the soft goods. Like we've seen the plastic parts customized and cut up and green stuff and all this kind of stuff and painting them. But now that we're getting more and more soft goods, especially a figure like this that's like completely covered in soft goods, it'll be interesting to see how people customize that, whether it's dyeing them, painting them, cutting them, what they do with this stuff. When I was buying this, obviously I didn't know they were going to do a Skeleton Legion Builder 2 or the Graveyard Skeletons. And so when I bought this, I wanted just the bare skeleton. And I was like, I'm going to take those robes and I'm going to throw some brown paint on those and just make them monk robes and just have a bunch of monks that are kind of in with, whether it's my God's Fire or just like, in the, with the Templars and stuff, whatever. But that's still kind of my go-to, I think, for this is to make a bunch of monks.
And with dying, but also don't forget, I know with was it the original Red Death? I think it was Chris Verone had where he bleached it and it went from red to yellow. So there's a possibility with that to see like how light you could get this and then dye it brown too.
From
just
there,
put it up.
Yeah, I was probably just going to actually do like a dry brush of brown on this. I know Emil has done a lot of like painting on soft goods lately, and surprisingly it works really well. Like you wouldn't think that like either the paint would hold or that it would make it too stiff or something, but it really doesn't. It looks nice. So
I think the key with that would be not to put a bit like painting your figures, not to put big globs of paint, but as I say, the thin dry brushing or very thin down paint if you wanted to just make it like kind of stained and mucky, at the bottom. But yeah, you could do a bunch of fun things here. I mean, you could even you could cut off the bottom piece and just have a hoodie.
Yes.
Put a little Cabal sticker on it, and you got your next year's merch, Billy, for the.
Well, and if you're going to do that, then the other piece would be a skirt piece for a female figure that you could use. So
you really could.
Yeah.
But even that hoodie, in all seriousness, that could work for a character in Cosmic, maybe.
Yeah.
Because that's more likely in the sci-fi environment. You could have characters that would wear a type of a hoodie.
Heck yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, I mean these soft goods are awesome. So
yeah, and they're good quality. We know the quality now. We weren't maybe sure what to expect when this was revealed a couple of years ago. In the meantime, we've had a lot of good soft goods, so we're pretty confident in what we're going to get.
And I think it's the hood is wired and the sleeves, like the end of the sleeves, are wired. I don't think the bottom of that is wired, but I don't know about the sides.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but there's going to be some wires in here too. So, any thoughts, Anthony?
Yeah, I bought this one completely for the soft goods and all the extras, and I was thinking of just taking extra wizards and trying to make one or two evil
nice.
wizards out of it. But yeah, that's why I bought this one.
Yeah, that's cool. And then he also has a different skull. I wanted to make sure I showed that too, because he's got if this will pull up, he's got that one skull with like the fused eye sockets. Which is kind of interesting because we haven't seen that before. So I wanted to point that out. That it creates kind of this pretty creepy look.
That is super creepy, yeah. And that's actually that's a nice reminder, and that this is a little bit more than the Legion Builder then, even in terms of skelly parts.
Yeah.
And it kind of makes me think. I can't remember who did it, but they took. Oh God, what's her face from Necronominus? It's the daughter with the large headdress.
Oh, Morgulith.
Yeah, Morgulith. They took her and made like a human version of Morgulith. It'd be, just random thought. We need to see like a human version of this fused skull right there. I'm sure someone. Possibility of someone making a 3D print of that or something. Just like a human version.
Yeah.
That would be nightmare fuel.
Yeah.
All right, next we got the big man himself, Necronominus, and there's a lot of shit going on here. So much so that I think that like each time I look at it, I see something new. But yeah, this thing is it's crazy. I got to wrap my head around this. So while I do that, I'll go to you, John. What thoughts on this one?
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm always with the big faction leaders, the evil faction leaders. I'm always scared to customize them at first because they're probably the big deluxe figure. You probably want a version of it on your shelf as it is, and then what to do with the other parts. But I think with this guy here, there's just so much you can do. I mean, look at the belt piece with the skulls. I mean, just to put that on a couple of other figures, or if you wanted to use that, you got this mad headdress coming down the front. That could be reused. Just even the bits that are coming down from the headrest, the kind of like strap pieces. I mean, they could be turned into belts or
well, and they're like
straps.
little bones too, right? Like it's like little finger bones or something.
Yeah, I remember they talked about that. Eric had sculpted individually all those little bones. It wasn't a case of duplicate.
So I mean, once again, we were talking about with the horse, like what parts could be taken apart and used in like dios and stuff. Like, can you imagine just a whole bunch of these finger bones just be laying out everywhere?
Yeah,
that would be crazy.
Joining us real quick, we will get right back to you, John. But joining us, we've got Tanya McCoy here with us to talk a little bit about this wave.
Hey, Tanya.
How's it going, Tanya?
How are you guys doing?
Great.
Doing
Thanks.
great.
Still alive.
So we're just kind of going through this wave and refreshing our memories because we pre-ordered it a long time ago and it's about ready to get here, and just seeing what kind of ideas pop in our head as far as customizing. So, John, what else with this one?
Yeah, so the headdress as well, Curtis. I mean, you could
go back.
You could take that off. Again, I can't remember exactly how it might come off, and I think that'll also be interesting to find out when we get it in hand. But just to take that off and maybe find another use for it, or a repaint of it. I mean, an interesting thing to do with this guy as well would be just to repaint him as a kind of an alternate version, and maybe use some other parts, or I don't know if there's a possibility of doing some sort of pre Necronominus and maybe in transition type of where you use maybe some of the zombie parts as well, which we get to. So yeah.
I mean, I know Billy was just talking about like doing like with Morgulith, like doing like a human version of Morgulith or something. I just think like if you were to take this armor and put it on a regular, like a human figure or something like that, like I think it would be kind of cool. I don't know what it would look like, but I think it would be pretty awesome.
Yeah, like on that like gas bar body.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe like it would look a bit like an Egyptian king or something on that body, maybe, or something like
Oh
that.
yeah.
Hey, pretty dope. Pretty dope.
Yeah, but just a lot of stuff here. You got those big wings. You got the the big scythe.
Yeah.
Yeah, the scythe is so cool. Where it's just like, how cool is it to be a like a skeleton god and then have a scythe that has a little version of yourself on the scythe, who's also looks like he's holding a scythe as well. It's
Yeah. The
levels.
scythe has a version of himself holding another scythe. Yeah. And then the soft goods, like just the tattered up. I mean, you got purple, red, black, like a burgundy. There's all kinds of different colors in there. Fully wired. That thing's going to be interesting to pose and see what you get out of it. So, and then those giant wings, man.
Yeah.
Those things.
And are they a bit bigger than the standard ones that you can get?
I believe they said they are. Yeah, and then they've got multiple bendy parts on them as well, so you can like fully have it like wrap around somebody.
So then again, that ogre skeleton you were talking about, maybe if you use the horse parts to try and do a torso for an ogre skeleton, maybe these are the wings you'd be looking at.
Yeah, maybe do like a winged horse, like a Pegasus, but like with bone wings. Yeah, interesting. Billy, other thoughts on this one?
It'll be really just getting it in hand and just getting a chance to tear it apart and see how many layers there are to this guy, because it's just like that shoulder piece is just so intricate. Just can't wait to mess with that and just see how different the length of certain bones are on here and everything, and just like the armored bits then between the bones, because I know it's supposed to be, I think it's leg lower leg part's supposed to be a little bit longer, and he goes into like the monster kind of skeleton feet there, the pointed ones. There's so much you could swap out with all the other bone characters there too to make your own unique Necronominus. I can't wait to mess with that.
Yeah, between like the Terpiculi and just the other figures and stuff, and then in All Stars, when you get to All Stars, you've got that heads pack that's got a bunch of skeleton heads. It's almost like having a little skeleton Lego set.
Yes.
It's like yeah, here's the way that they planned for it to go together, but mess around with it and see what you can come up with.
There's so much you could do, because like again with like those monstrous Terpiculi parts, you could have where like, what if Necronominus is like in a boss fight? It goes to a different form each time with a new boss level bar.
Yeah.
What's the final form of Necronominus as he's like fighting to just destroy the rest of everything before he loses? Monstrous hands. He merges with Konabus. Who knows?
So I'm looking forward to those wings. I don't know if you guys have thought about it, but like either cellophane or some kind of fabric or some kind of something to attach to those wings to actually make them look like, I think they would be beautiful.
Like more like a kind of demon wings or something.
Well, I don't know if I would do demon or, I don't know how it would look, but yeah, just something like cellophane or some kind of fabric that's, that you glue to the back part of the wing to kind of give it more of a full wing effect.
Yeah.
That sinew in between and stuff.
Yeah,
Right.
almost look insect-like almost.
Yeah, or just to be able to see but to give it the actual full wing effect. I mean, I think it would look really cool. It'd be fun to play with.
Mm-hmm. And that would also be cool to put on like a skeleton Pegasus if you did that, to give it a little bit more. Because I know Mondo did their Nightmare, and it has that kind of look to it, I think. And yeah. For
sure.
Yeah.
What else on this, Tanya? Anything else that's sparking your creativity?
The soft goods for sure. I think those different colors of the burgundies and the reds and the purple soft goods are going to really shine on some other figures, I think. But yeah, the wing, ever since this one came out, the wings, of course, are the one thing that has drawn my attention more so than anything else. but just trying to come up with a plan on how to use those wings. I'm excited. That's
Awesome.
Every time I see this, I think those big wings and what can I do with them and how can I use them?
Yeah. Anthony, anything from you?
Just one's gonna go on the shelf because it's beautiful, and then the other one's all those goods probably on some kind of humanoid character. Haven't decided, but yeah, the soft goods on all these new waves are just unbelievable.
Yeah, I typically don't order a ton of extras on the more deluxe figures, the ones that are a little bit more expensive, because it's not as it's a little bit more costly.
Yeah.
But I did buy one extra on this, and I think, kind of same, like I'll be picking one of them apart and like, okay, I'm going to use the wings on this, the soft goods on this, one is just going to be a bunch of fodder pieces and the other one is going to go actually in the display. So,
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. Next we've got Sir Adalric, which I think is probably going to be the sleeper of this wave. And I'll admit, I'm not sold on this figure. Like just the colors, the feather, whatever. It didn't do a lot for me. But if I know anything about the Horsemen, a lot of times when you're questioning whether you like a figure, then you get it in hand, and you're like, oh, I'm stupid. So, I don't have a lot on this, but I'm gonna pass it off to John. John, what do you got?
I think the main thing about this, again, we got the Valiant Knight in between, so the whole excitement of the new Knight body is a bit less now because of that. Not that that's a bad thing, because we got the Valiant Knight ages ago, so cool. We've had a chance to play it. It's the pauldrons.
Yeah, those pauldrons are nice.
Those pauldrons are obviously unique, so anytime you get unique pauldrons, you're excited. You maybe look at them and go, okay, the simplest thing I can do is just, okay, inverse the colors. So put the golds as silvers and the silvers as gold, and put it on your gold knights or whatever, or and the gold knight now, I think they rewrote it so that it's associated with Aetheron. Is that right? I can't remember.
I can't remember. I'm not a bio guy. That's your Allegiance podcast.
Yes.
They do that.
I'll just pretend I know what I'm talking about there. Yeah. So that's obviously a cool thing. The shield we talked about in the weapons pack, that helmet where you can insert the head. There's going to be guys like I remember Mark Calvo did it for the Zalurnian Guard, where they do alternate little inserts, 3D printed inserts for different faces, so when those guys get their hand on those type of guys get their hand on this figure, there will be maybe a chance that they'll do different type of heads, and could even be like a monster head, or just even a female head might work, because it's a knight in armor. You could have a female head in there. That would be pretty cool. So that kind of stuff. But I think I agree with you, Curtis. It's a sleeper. The feathers as well. We've had the whole time we've had those kind of knight helmets with the kind of plumes. The various plumes in different colors, same sculpt. Now we're seeing something new. So again, something fun just to repaint for the first time. I always like the first time I get a new part in a figure like this, that I can maybe give it a go repainting.
What about you, Billy?
Just touching on like the 3D printed parts there, I think like with these that have the swappable face plates, what 3D printers might start doing, since they like it's been popular in the past. I feel like this year it got popular with people scanning people's faces to make heads. These swappable like face plates will make that even easier, and just like this, like these heads in particular will probably be a little bit more of a commodity if they decide to start doing that.
I will be honest with you, just from talking to different sculptors and printers, there's going to be somebody that works on this. But a lot of people think it's going to be more work to create a faceplate than it would be to actually just create a new head. And not only that, but you got to get all the dimensions right, and you got to make sure that it'll plug in, have a good fit, and you're probably going to put more work into sculpting it, and then people are going to go, well, it's not a full head, so you're going to charge less, right? Like, yeah, but you're actually putting more time and work into it. So I don't know that it's going to be a huge market for these faceplates. I think somebody will do something, but I wouldn't expect to see a plethora of these things. So
maybe not
No,
a plethora, but
it'll
like
be one. It'll be one. Whoever does it first, and everyone else will go, okay, that's done. Leave it to them.
Yeah.
Someone
but
will
ag-
get that template down first to be able to put the heads mesh them
But
into.
again,
But
I
what this
don't know.
does do for us though is in the future,
Yeah.
especially if Four Horsemen kind of standardize the size of this,
Yeah.
if all of a sudden we get more and it now gives us swappability options, would be great. But I don't know that this is a spot that I see 3D printers kind of filling this void, but I could be wrong.
Could be a possibility. And I think this head is also used on oh god, I can't remember from the All Stars wave that's also like Necronominus plus wave there. It's the one that Joe Vassapolo did that has
Yeah,
where it's
Sir Andrew.
I think it
Andrew.
has the same like base head there, base helmet head there. So I
Yeah,
think
it's a different
if you swap
faceplate.
out the faceplate, possibly with the skull here, at least it'll continue to get used so far in another one.
Is that
Really,
the Etron logo? Is that attached to the pauldron?
I believe so.
that badge right
Okay.
there?
Yeah,
I believe
like the
so,
little yeah.
You think
I'm
it would
guessing
be?
it is, but yeah, that's interesting. Okay.
Yeah, I think that's definitely attached there. That pop that off depending on how it's attached. It's another thing you could change out, make something else for. But I'm excited to get this guy.
That would be interesting if that's a plug spot,
Mhm.
and now you could plug like different logos on that pauldron. That would be kind of interesting.
That'd be dope.
Tanya,
and
thoughts on this guy? Anything that just pops in your head?
The pauldrons, of course, I think those are going to be great uses and design options for those. You guys obviously have talked about the shield, but that shield is, I mean, it really is beautiful, and I cannot wait to get that. And like John was talking about that plume, yeah, I've got ideas for that as well.
I do like on the shield how they did the alternate color pattern, like where
Yeah.
the diagonal, like that's kind of cool.
It is. But yeah, I mean, we've got the night body, so we kind of know what's coming there. But I think especially those pauldrons, I think those are going to be gorgeous, seeing what people do with those. And I'm with you. If that badge comes out and you can attach other things, I think that will be a game changer.
That's pretty cool.
It is.
Anthony, did you pick up this one?
Yeah, for this one, I actually did have some plans. I have 3 of the Phoenix shields coming from Planetary Dog Toys, and I love the pauldrons and that badge, and I was going to kind of repaint these like a red, orange, and gold theme and kind of have an Order of the Phoenix, but I'm going to have probably at least 3 of these knighted soldiers using the I also have some extra Gods of Fire heads, so you kind of had this plan for a while. I've had these heads forever without a plan, and finally saw this and thought this is what I want to do. So it's just like I said, an Order of Phoenix grouping of probably three knights with these Gods of Fire heads and those beautiful pauldrons and that badge. So
awesome, good stuff. Next we got Sir Elijah, and yeah, this is where I get excited. So I love my Templars. I am super excited for it. A big God's Fire fan from Wolf King Customs. You can get all the God's Fire parts there, and just getting a new Templar with fully decked out in soft goods, that shield, the chainmail head, which is so cool. Like, we've had some 3D printers that have done chainmail heads, but to actually get one from the Four Horsemen is awesome. And that once again will give us, I'm sure in the future, some swappable options on there. This new helmet, I love this new helmet. And one thing that I'm really excited for with this, to try, I don't know how it's going to work, but I'm excited to try to use these soft goods and make some female Templars, because right now we've only got Delphina as the only female Templar we have. And I would love for them to do a builder. I mean, that we've got Relic Guards and Dark Templars and regular Templar. We got all these builders that are all males. We don't have a female builder Templar, which I think would be awesome if anybody from Four Horsemen watches us. But in the meantime, I'm going to try to use these soft goods and put it on a female body, and see if I can, either that or, because the soft goods is covering up once underneath, maybe even modify with green stuff or whatever, modify the armor underneath the tunic, to make this into like more of a female body, maybe even a female 1.0 Templar, would be kind of cool. So that's where my mind's at. I've got, between this guy and the Enoch that's coming in All-Star 6, I think I got like 25 Templars coming. So nice. I'm like over the moon about these. But I'll go we'll wrap around and go to the bottom next. We'll go to Anthony. Anthony, thoughts on this guy with the Templar?
Yeah, I've got a couple extra, but no thoughts yet. Yeah, I haven't thought about it that much.
I also love these like very rounded, streamlined pauldrons. Like they're so cool looking. Mm-hmm. Tanya, thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, Lady Averona, using her with those soft goods to create a new female Templar, I think would be awesome. I love I love the pauldrons, like you said. I like the design of those pauldrons. It's very slim. It's very, very good looking. And again, that shield is fantastic. I know this is one of the ones that Kevin cannot wait to get, but the chainmail just takes me to a great place. But I'm with you, Curtis. That new helmet, that new paint on that helmet, like that is going to be fun.
Yeah, it's an awesome shape and color scheme, and I'm sure people are going to do some different paint jobs on that. Yeah, that's cool. Billy?
Definitely that helmet, but it breaks away from just like having like a full suit of armor, but they have ATL 25 coming to Toyland and then available later on Store Horsemen for another release. I think that's about the same color scheme for his skin color, to like, even if it's just like a breakaway, if you want to just have like where it's like one arm is kind of bare, stuff like that, like swapping stuff out with that just to see what that looks like matching around there. Just more diversity in there is fun to mess with. And then just like, it's a solid suit of armor knight. And that's just more than like, I was excited for, like when we got the Valiant Knight, that was fun to get to play around with, but this is like the full realization. That's the 1.0. This is the 1.5, just more knight, more detail, more. This is the Valiant Knight I wanted.
Yeah. And you talked earlier when we were on the hands pack about kind of that gunmetal, like those dark hands that we were looking at. I love that really dark gunmetal look to this armor. It's super cool.
Yes, that is just it's, again, like I don't have 25, but like I got some coming.
John, custom thoughts when you look at this?
Yeah, I mean, the color piece there, that's going to come in useful for, maybe putting on some of your previous knights, or if you've got some knights from the armory, maybe you can paint match them up and add them to that, and put a different one on this one or something like that. And the new helmet, I think you said it all already, but the new helmet, just to repaint that, always love to try my hand at that, do a different color scheme on it. Obviously the obvious one is the gold knight, but you've got the armory knights. People have paint matches for those, so that's definitely something to think about. Other than that, I mean, the things you said before, I mean, your shield, you've got the Templar shield here if you've got a bunch of them. So putting a different insert into it from, for example, I don't know if I'm pretty sure the one from Gideon will fit that we'd see. So
see,
cool.
The thing that I'm excited for on that weapons pack that we talked about is that other shield that we just saw on Sir Adalric, because that also has like a cross pattern to it. It's not painted this way, but you could easily paint that up into a red cross.
Yeah.
And now you've got a couple different types of shields for your Templars. So yeah, very cool. And next, man,
yeah,
I don't even know. Like,
shame to customize him.
Yeah, this is where I kind of get lost with the customizing thing, because he's so freaking perfect. Like, this is a perfect figure. Like, how do you take this thing apart? But I have heard of a lot of people that bought this to use, like, bought 3 of them to use 2 as kind of like guards, like with the full helmet version, and then the one in the middle is actual Gideon. But other than that, I can't even imagine taking this stuff apart. But we're going to talk about it. So, John, what do you got?
Yeah, obviously the shield is the first thing I look at. This year at the Pop and Swap experience at Legions Con, I picked up as many of these type of shields from the different figures we have already. Just from my bins, anytime I'm either looking to just paint something for fun, have them, or if there's a character that goes in that faction, you have it. So this insert straight away, as I mentioned earlier, painted silver, give it to a Templar. That would be pretty cool. The pauldron is insane. It's a little bit like, is it Baron Voligar's pauldron? It's so unique to the character that you wonder, can you do something with it? But you also think, yeah, sure. it's an eagle.
Yeah.
But yeah, as you say, it's a perfect figure. It's also got a different collar piece. So again, trying to find another use for that. And getting your old Gideon, if you have one, and using him, throwing him in the parts bin. So you don't need him anymore.
I really love this sheath.
Yeah. Leather.
Yeah, that
leather
sheath.
That's what we're talking about.
Yeah, and then on top of that, you see all the different straps on him. Like, he's got the real thin strap, then he's got the thicker one, he's got the double belt with the sheath. Like, yeah, just a lot going on here. Billy, thoughts on this?
I'm excited. Oh, I'm so excited to have Tom Selleck Knight in my collection. Oh, it's gonna be great.
That extra head's gonna be awesome, because I mean, most people, I would say most, if not everybody, is gonna be using the one with the wings and stuff as Gideon. But this extra head, like, dude, that's like Magnus level awesome right there.
It's gonna be all over the place. People are gonna use it on cosmic figures, Legions figures, anything in between. Like, back to that Toy Lanta figure, it's coming out. Get enough of them, you can make one into oh god, now I'm forgetting his name. You can just make the whole crew from the Predator with it now. You can have him just like, I ain't got time to bleed.
Jesse Ventura, yeah.
Yes, Jesse Ventura, Jesse the Body Ventura. That right there with that head, you have to pop. Oh, it's so much. Again, I love that sheath. I can see that because it's got it on his side. I want to see it on someone's back, just like huge sword. Oh.
How about the new painted Heavens brand?
God, I remember trying to, like, finding that original Heavens brand, and that just like it being so easy to get, hopefully get for a minute now. People better get their unique weapons right now while the getting's good.
Yeah. Tanya?
There's so much goodness here. But yeah, I mean, how can you mess really with perfection? This is probably one of the most perfect looking knights I have ever seen. I mean, everything about him was amazing, and I can't wait just to put him in the collection. But yeah, that shoulder pauldron, like, I can almost see like a hawk man or an eagle man, something that gives that, look and feel using that pauldron with him. The shield, I can definitely see repaints and everything with that. So much goodness here. Yeah, I don't.
So there's a lot of stuff.
There's so much. Like I'm so excited to get this one specifically in hand. I know he is just amazing, and him and his horse, like that's going to be perfection right there.
And I believe under the soft goods, it's basically like a Valiant Knight body that's just painted gold.
Right.
So, if you wanted to use this not as Gideon, but as, some sort of, ether on guard or something, you could definitely do that. And then maybe use the soft goods on something else. I don't know. This is one of those ones. It's almost like a figure obscura in the fact that it's like, it's so good. I don't want to think about touching
really
it,
is.
but yeah.
It really is.
Yeah, I struggle to customize with the figure obscuras for sure.
Yeah, same.
I just noticed his freaking elbows even have a sculpted detail of like of an eagle on there.
Eagle on the back of his elbow. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's.
Oh wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah.
This is amazing.
That's crazy. Next, I don't know if you guys heard anybody talking about this one. Yeah, they're.
Oh, who's that large fellow there? He looks like he's from New Jersey.
We got Sir Ozzac here, which is a tribute to Big Greg. I don't know. He doesn't really talk about it much. But I'm really excited for this. I was wanting a, kind of like fully armored ogre for a long time. I love the parts on here. I love the armored arms, upper arms and legs. The use of those pauldrons on there, this chest piece with that like big giant emblem and stuff, and then that massive hammer that's just like ridiculously and in such a cool way. The only problem I had with this figure was the use of those feet that we've seen a million times that totally don't go with this armor. Like you got everything else is all smooth and rounded, and then you got these spiky feet. It's like, come on, you could have given some new feet. But there's just a lot on this that I could see, and because all the ogres that we've had so far have been like bare arms and legs, I definitely see a lot of repaints that are going to happen with this guy, and the Baradak that's coming in All-Stars 6. But that's kind of my initial thoughts on this. Any customs that people have been doing with ogres, now all of a sudden you can armor them up would be really cool. John?
Yeah, I mean, as you say, repaints is probably the first thing. I'm looking at this and thinking, how can I get some of those parts into Cosmic maybe? Obviously not all of them, but there is certain parts. Maybe the upper legs might work with some other lower legs for Cosmic, something like that. The torso, of course, I don't know if that that kind of Etheron style front of the chest with the kind of cross and all that, whether that plugs in or out or if it's part of the sculpt.
I think they said that that's a chest plug.
Okay.
Does it lift off? I thought they said that it plugged in.
I could have, well, at least at one point it had where, because like Baradak has like a different kind of version there, and it has where it's laying over the torso, but like maybe somehow plugs in, kind of like how like the neck guards did in the back a little bit, but it's removable.
I'm just noticing that it's got like a Heaven's brand in the middle there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really cool. So again, that's assuming, and I'm sure they did it that way because otherwise it wouldn't be very reusable for them either.
Right.
So then you've got a torso there that's reasonably generic and armored in that scale. So again, you could make different customs from either different mythic factions or see if you can fit it into Cosmic with the bare arms, make a big Cosmic mercenary with some armor. So yeah, that's the kind of main things I'm looking at this. Again, the larger figures, the larger the figure are, the more difficult it is to customize, just because it's more work. So you have to kind of think carefully about what you'd want to do. But a simple thing, maybe if there's some cool third-party heads for this type of figure, obviously a Greg head.
Yes.
That would be a fun one. I'm sure someone.
He has a head already for it.
Yeah. Oh, does he? Okay.
Yeah,
he's
already ready to start giving them out
to
people and selling them and everything. So yeah.
Yeah. So
he's on top of it.
So I'll hit Greg.
Looks like Billy stepped away. We'll jump down to you, Tom.
Oh, no, I'm back.
I'm sorry. All right.
Yeah, I had to grab that big Greg head.
Yeah.
You
got
it.
He's already got it ready to go. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Awesome.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Missed that.
Billy, thoughts on this guy?
I can't wait to get my hands on him because like it is new ogre parts. I want to see what the range of motion is on these now. But then also just like you said, the customizing, more for Baradak because I want to make like another ogre scale Gorgo with him, obviously.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And Baradak be easiest to swap out there, but like with this guy, it's just getting to play with him first. And you could swap in some like, oh God, now I'm forgetting names. There's so many out there. Where we like 3 different names now. He just came out. Wonderful Dragon Man, popping his parts in there. Yeah, Arakagor, swapping his parts in there just to see how they work. And like John said, possibly push that into like Cosmics there. Have a planet of lizard knights. Why not?
Oh, I didn't even think about mixing it with a Dragonborn, but like now that you mention that Big Bad Toy Store exclusive one, mixing that with Baradak.
Oh yeah,
that would be pretty awesome.
That'd be dope.
Yeah,
and then that take care of your little feet issue right there. Give him some different feet.
There you go. Yeah, give him some Dragonborn feet.
And
Tanya. Oh, sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
That's another thing because like I do wish with this one because he only has the weapon holding hands. I wish we got just one other set of hands.
Yeah. There's some things on here like it would have been cool to have an expressive hand or a fist. It would have been cool to have a different weapon handle. We got that same weapon handle that we've always had, and we got the same feet that we've always had. So it's like they almost did a full resculpt, but then it's like now we're gonna stop at these things. It's like you got this huge massive head on that hammer and this little tiny handle. Tanya, we are now at you. What do you got?
I don't have a whole lot with this one. Ogres have never been like something that I have even considered tackling as far as customizing. So for me, this is so out of my wheelhouse. The helmet is amazing. Everything about this is amazing. And I think it would be a beautiful repaint. But, one of the easiest and most amazing things to do would probably be that Greg head. I mean, painting up that head and putting it on here would be, pretty amazing. He's a big boy. He's big. And I just, like I said, it's just, ogre is not in my wheelhouse at this point. Not that it won't ever be, but at this point, he's not in my wheelhouse.
That's cool. Anthony, did you?
Yeah, well, this was my favorite figure until you mentioned the feet, which I hadn't paid attention to until now.
Sorry, ignore that. Just write that, reverse it. Yeah,
I can't stop looking at him.
Yeah, I'll keep one because it's beautiful. I'll repaint one for that same Order of the Phoenix. Just love the wings on that weapon, and I'll change the color scheme, and then probably even do the Sir Gideon as a kind of a leader with that shield repainted. Oh, it's beautiful. But yeah, I definitely all these with the wing parts I'm using kind of for that theme. So
yeah, the one custom thing that comes to mind for me with this is I'm going to take that head of that hammer on one of my extra ones and use it as like a jetpack on a Cosmic Legion. Like it just looks like an engine turbine or something.
Oh, that's a cool idea.
Yeah, that'd be a cool idea. Yeah.
That is cool.
Yeah. And I'm sure that if I do that, because I would probably remove the wings then, but then I can put them somewhere else, like put them on somebody's arms or pauldrons or something. So yeah, that's like the only thing that I've got that comes to mind, but I love this. It's a cool figure, and congrats, Greg, if you watch this. Next, we've got skeleton hands and feet. Once again, not going to spend a whole lot of time on this, but we've talked about kind of the Lego aspect of the skeleton parts in these couple waves with this and All-Star 6. But yeah, just some really cool bony fingers and feet. Anybody excited for this? Any like immediate thoughts that you have that you want to throw out there? Nope.
Swapping bone parts out. Bone hands, bone feet. There's stuff, update your older skeleton boys.
Yep.
I think the ogre feet will be useful.
Are they ogre?
I think they are, aren't they?
I think they're just.
I thought they're just.
Maybe
I think they're just 1.0.
Sorry.
Yeah, 1.0. Just like one's pointy, one's normally.
Yeah, one's like demon or
That's right,
what did
yeah.
they call it?
Beastie.
Yeah, beastie kind of look rather than normal.
Yeah. Okay, down to the last two. This is the one that I think like everybody's excited for. This thing is just ridiculously crazy. We're gonna start at the bottom. Anthony, what do you got on this guy?
We start with me when I have no thoughts. Yeah, again, not a big skeleton guy. I think he's cool and I'll keep him, but I don't even know if I have. I might have one extra, but I don't have any thoughts on this one. Sorry.
All right, that's fine. Tanya?
Oh, I cannot wait to get this in hand. The monkey head that's coming in the future for this guy, I'm super excited about him. The fact that we've got the dwarf legs, so you can finally do a really good dwarf skeleton. I think that is going to be amazing. I think just playing around, bringing out pieces and parts and putting it back together, thinking about maybe painting one to match like the different types of skeletons. So we'll have this one and then paint one to match the new skeleton that we just got, and then paint one to match the skeletons that are coming out. I think having the different colorways would be really cool, but there is nothing about this character that I don't love. I mean,
what about like other colored skeletons, like the scaphoid color scheme, or like
like
that the red, awesome. Like Calavian?
Right. Well, I don't. Yeah, I mean, so I guess Calavian I'm getting in the AS6 because we don't have him yet, but the scaphoid would be really, really cool. Yeah, I mean, there's so much that you can, to do all the different colored skeletons, the gold skeleton that's coming out to do him in that gold color. Oh, like there's so much goodness here, and being able to mix and match all of the pieces and all of the parts is going to be awesome. This is the one that, when it first showed, I was like, oh, that's really cool. But the more I have thought about it, the more excited I have gotten to be able to use and mix and match the parts.
Yeah, for sure. Billy, I know you got ideas.
I got a lot of ideas, but like, I'm so excited to get this figure in hand, especially after, because like its tail has where it's a bendy tail. When it first was announced, I was like, oh, bendy tail, kind of worried about that. But really, after seeing that Ninian infantry and like getting in hand and messing with it, because it has the same kind of like tail connector there at the top, I have no doubts on the quality of how this big tail will be. And then everything else, there's so many holes and ports and stuff like that to pop pieces out of, swap them in. The almost ogre-sized arms there, but can go into like brute-sized torsos. I'm excited for that. Oh, just knowing that you can take the arms off of like a Legion builder skeleton right now, and in that pelvis is the same size hole. So arms and legs will swap around. It's just, there's going to be some monstrosities. There's going to be some abominations, and I can't wait.
Yeah, I mean, I think more than probably any figure that they've done, this thing's gonna lead to some like really weird, crazy crap.
There it is.
Like you take somebody like a Brian C. and just like I don't know what happened in Brian's childhood that that made his brain work the way that it does. But he's he's gonna sculpt some crazy stuff that's gonna go with this that you're gonna be like, how did you even think of that? Yeah, you're gonna have stuff like what Billy showed. I gotta dig at you. Hold on. Let me see if I can find my like what? I mean, it's just
That's
gonna
just
be
mild.
crazy. Yeah, it's gonna be crazy.
And that's just like it's flesh. It fits perfect. I just can't wait.
John, thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I mean, this is your, as you said, Lego skeleton, and just get compile as many of them as you can, and just keep popping them together until you can't pop them into any more places. So, whether it's somehow attaching another torso via an arm into the back of him, and then putting more arms and legs into that until you make kind of creatures. I mean, I know Richard is another one of those guys, one of my co-host on our podcast, and he's just looking to make the weirdest looking creatures he possibly can out of all these parts.
There's going to be quite a few.
It'll be get the hair dryer out, pop it all apart, and just to have a bunch of bones on the table and start from scratch.
Yep.
Can't wait.
Yeah, and then like I said, you get that heads pack then from All Stars 6, and it's going to be even crazier. So.
Yeah, and I think we touched on it when we talked about Conobus, but seeing how we can use the parts from Conobus that kind of come off with this as well. So if you have an extra Conobus, you maybe can add to your pile of bits.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you took the skeleton hands and feet pack, you take Necronominus, Maxillius, Conobus, this guy, that heads pack from All Star 6, you just pop it all apart and throw it in a pile. You just throw all the pieces down. And then you just start like throwing things together and see what fits and what works. It'll be interesting to see what people come up with. So,
and I mean, even the company themselves, okay, maybe they've got test shots now from China, but originally when this came out, even they're not sure what can be made with it, because you can't, with prototypes, you can't do all the popping and swapping that we can do with the production pieces. So they're going to be finding out too,
Yeah, absolutely. All right, one last one, and it's a builder pack. You've got these zombies and some translucent parts, and there's just a lot of stuff going on with this. Let me go down to the one that has all of it. Man, there's so many pictures of this. Well, this is the picture with all the extra pieces. I guess they don't have one in here that has like the whole layout. But basically, you've got zombie parts in here. You've got the translucent parts, as well as only one torso and waist piece and stuff. So you can only make one out of this, but there's enough parts that you can mix and match them with other figures that you have to create a bunch of different things. So we'll start with you, John. Thoughts on this pack?
Yeah, I mean, as you say, only one torso piece, but having done a couple of customs recently myself, I have a box of torsos and the stuff that kind of I didn't use, because I maybe opened 4 or 5 figures to make 3 customs, so I have bits from all different figures. So if I've got a torso, obviously I'm going to use the extra arms and legs to make different characters. So I love the concept. So they give you the important pieces extra, which is the ones with articulation, because that's the ones that 3D parts makers can't make. So there's always the possibility of even picking up a third party torso or something if you wanted to do that. But yeah, it's just, this is fun. This is what Legions is about, this type of a pack, where you get all the different parts and pieces. And as much as I'm not a huge fan of translucent, I think a fully translucent figure like Hagnon is a bit much when you consider what the Horseman can do with the paint. So getting maybe just some parts that are translucent is cool, because even in your customs you could maybe, like they did on the new Zolocon figure, you could just paint the skull and leave the flame-ish part is translucent, and that's a really cool effect without doing a huge amount of work. And it's not something you could do yourself because you can't make translucent pieces out of paint.
Yeah, I think that flaming part for me is the coolest piece of this. I mean, there's definitely going to be somebody doing a Ghost Rider custom out of this and repainting it.
Red flames.
Yeah.
For sure
I mean, because the sculpt is there, you would just have to repaint that flame, but
or dyeing it.
Yeah. Or dyeing it. Yeah. Even if you dyed it though, you'd probably want to put like just some transition colors, like the yellow into red kind of thing. But yeah, cool stuff. Billy, thoughts on this builder pack?
I went heavy on all the Bone Boys and stuff like that. I didn't go heavy on this one, but I kind of wish I had, at least not for the translucent parts, but more for the undead parts, because with those heads, they are just so gross and awesome. There's a lot you can do with all the armor bits, just to swap out like the zombie parts for like, normal human parts, things like that, or bone parts, swapping out bone parts with that to have like another kind of like undead infantry to miss in there. But I can't wait till I get in hand. When I mess with it in hand is when I'm really going to get a feel for that, because that hanging jaw is just so good.
Yeah, I would like to take that hanging jaw one and repaint it to put with my Grim Reaper one that I do, like the Maxillius. But like, yeah, I think I love that head. That's so cool.
So good, because like it follows that line of not quite too gory for Horseman stuff, but still like this is scary AF. Yeah.
And I can't remember, does it have like some saliva or something? Like it looks like maybe there's something, I don't know, but it's pretty nasty looking. Tanya, thoughts on this builder pack?
Yeah, I mean, when I first saw this, the first thing that came to mind was Ghost Rider. I thought for sure somebody is going to do some kind of Ghost Rider tribute, but with all the dyeing of the clear parts that we have seen lately with Hagnon, I think that this is going to be a dream for people to dye. I think so much great things going on here. I can't remember how many exactly we got, but yeah, this is going to be a lot of fun to play with.
Isn't that the trick of it? Like you place these orders and then you have no idea how many you got.
How many's coming and I got nothing. I don't know.
Right. Yeah.
We'll see when it shows up.
For sure. And yeah, and then you got shackles here. You got a few weapons and some other stuff too. So some extra hands.
Oh, the short halberd is something like that short. Like that's the handle for a mace with that. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. Anthony, builder pack. Did you get any of these? Oh, you're muted.
Sorry. Yeah, I did get at least one, but I have nothing to add. Thanks.
Okay, cool. Well, that is the entire Necronominus wave. I know, a couple of you, well, Tanya especially showed up a little bit later. We had covered a few of them before you got here. Anything on like Belualyth or the horses or anything like that you wanted to talk about?
Belualyth is the one that I am so excited to get in hand. I cannot wait to see her and mess with her and feel her. I think her soft goods that they've done on her are amazing, but just her plethora of boned creatures. I mean, people are going to be using these in dios left and right. Like, I cannot wait to see some of the amazing dios that are going to come out and have all of this kind of stuff positioned in there. I think she is amazing. her head sculpt without the nose, again, is something that it has been in my head. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I don't know how I'm going to use it, but like, it's one of the ones that I can't wait to play with. But
Which will be the head you show it with?
I'm sorry?
Which will be the head you have on her the most? Nose or no nose?
Yeah, that was the question we asked earlier.
I will probably show her with the nose. She will be with the nose in the display. But when I play with it, like, you know, when they showed her without the nose, like, things started rolling around in my head. Like, what can I do with that? Because that's kind of an interesting concept, an interesting thing. And I've not, you know, really thought about it. But I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to playing with it. So I don't know what's going to come of it, but I'm definitely looking forward to getting in hand and painting it.
Yeah, for sure. And just all the different things that she comes with. We talked about like the accessories on her belt, the pets, the, you know, the cage, all that. Like, there's just a lot of stuff going on there.
There is. And the diet, like I said, the photos that people are going to take that are going to place all of those items in there and, you know, create dios and stuff. I'm excited to see what the community does with her. She has so much goodness. So much goodness.
Absolutely. Well, folks, that is Necronominus. Appreciate all the folks that joined me. John had to jump. He's doing a stream today. But appreciate John joining us. Billy, Tanya, Anthony, thank you very much. Any final thoughts on Necronominus from you guys? We'll start with Billy. Billy, any final thoughts?
It's closer to being here than ever before.
That is true. Tanya, any final thoughts on the wave?
January is starting off strong, and I cannot wait to get it in hand. It is going to be a good one for sure.
Absolutely. Anthony?
Yeah, I can't wait, and this made it even more so. So really looking forward to this wave. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys jumping on with me. It's one of those where, like, I know it's around the corner, and I'm like, and I remember the figures that are in there, but there's some of the intricate details of the sculpts and the accessories and things like that. I'm like, man, I need to refresh my memory, kind of what's coming in. And this really helped out a lot. So, and just kind of bouncing ideas and stuff off was fun. So, folks at home, you know, hopefully you enjoyed this. If you have other thoughts, things that you'd like to customize with these, some ideas that popped into your head as we were going through there, throw that in the comments. If you have any questions, throw that out there too. And, you know, hope you enjoyed the video. And till next time, keep creating, folks.